Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Maria Davis, Mad Wednesdays. We here tonight to have a good time. Wait a minute. I see my man over there, Jay-Z. Jay-Z, Dame Dash, let me hear that little tape of yours. And it's fat. Why don't you come up here and kick a little freestyle? Put that
Hey
champagne
everyone,
down.
it's the
Kick a little
Rocket Trading
freestyle
Gig.
for me, G.
Today we're going to be going over setting up your chart when it comes to the CLS close window. And the time for that CLS close window is going to be 10 a.m. Eastern to 10:25 a.m. Eastern. Now, CLS settlement uses a bunch of times throughout the day, but when it comes to this video series, I would say I'm going to make about 10 to 15 videos. But when it comes to this video series, it's just going to be strictly around models based on that 10 a.m. to 10:25 window. Now, I know ICT has talked about the silver bullet and it being in that window. So you could use, both. But I've been using this, I would say, long before he came out with the silver bullet method. So let's get into it. So today I'm going to be talking about Euro USD. Now it's just going to be a naked chart. We're going to remove everything, but the first thing I'm going to be doing is marking out that quarterly open, and it's going to be on 2 October. And then from here, we're just going to be marking out the open of that quarterly candle. Just making sure I put my description in. And then from there, the only thing I'm going to be doing is annotating this imbalance that I had previously marked in my journal, and I'll put that right around now. So here we have Euro USD, and we're going to be looking at that imbalance that Euro USD left going from Thursday through Friday, and then ending on Monday. And it caught my eye because I immediately thought, Euro USD previously ran buy side, as you can see there, and then ran lower. Euro USD failed to drop below, where you see sell side, and then a little bit right above sell side at that 1.05 big figure. Euro USD failed to take out that low, that swing low at 1.05 big figure. And once it failed to break below there, then that quarterly open level was the one that I was actually just looking at. And, once Euro USD propelled, right off that level really accurately, in my opinion, once it propelled, off that level, it ran straight, for that previous high set around that 1.0660 level. And then from there, I would say, yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was kind of just a retracement into that imbalance. And then, CPI and all the news this week, I wouldn't say I was, thinking Euro USD was going to fly like how it did. But again, this imbalance area caught my eye. And now that Euro USD moved higher, now I'm going to start to look for more trades throughout the week when it comes to Euro USD. So now we jump into the 4 hour. And when we look at the 4 hour, first off, regarding that previous screenshot that I had put up on the screen, now we're jumping into the 4 hour and we can see that buy side as well as that sell side down here. So we rapidly ran through that level on the 4 hour. And this was that imbalance that was left on the daily time frame. Now I'm going to drag that over to this week's open. And I'm also going to mark out last week's open as well, just so that way I can have that in mind. And it is right here, and I'll just mark it And then from here, the only thing that I'm going to be doing on the 4-hour is going to be marking out that weekly open. So the weekly open happened down here. We're going to keep that up on our charts for the rest of the week, down all the way until weekly close. So weekly close is on the 17th. And we're going to put that right here. And boom, we should be good. So weekly open, have that, and then now we're going to jump into the 15-minute. So now we're on the 15-minute, and not a lot happened, on Monday per usual. But what this is all about is setting up for that 10 to 10:25 window. So what I like to do is just mark out 6 a.m. down here. And then I like to mark out 9 a.m. as well. I do have a a horizontal line going across when 9 a.m. opens. I just like to keep a special eye on 9 a.m., especially when one of my main models is based around 10 to 10:25. So from here, the only thing I'm going to be doing next is marking out 12 p.m. And then once I do that, I'll hop right down into the 5-minute. So here, the 5-minute is perfect for what we're trying to get, I guess, get all the information for. So what I usually like to do when it comes to the 10 to 10:25 window is strictly just looking for buy side and sell side when it comes to the 9 a.m. high and the 9 a.m. low. Now I would look for 8 to 8:30, but in this instance, CPI came in at 8:30, so I wasn't trading then, wasn't going to trade, wait for news to pass in this particular instance, and then we move on to the next model. So here we're going to mark out buy side and make sure that it stays down on the 5-minute just to stay organized. And then we're just going to put buy side, boom. I like to keep my buy side levels red. It keeps me, kind of focused on red. Red's a pretty popping color, so that's why I like to do it. Lastly, we're going to put sell side down at the bottom, and these are really the only two levels that I'd be focused on when it comes to this particular window. And then from here, you can clearly see, I wouldn't say clearly. Let me reverse my words, because I'm not sure the level of, trading experience that people have when they come over to this video. So from here, all I would need to do is just depict 10 a.m. and I would really just put this again on red, just so I can stay particularly, interested in that level. Here we have an inefficiency or an imbalance, as people like to call it. We subtly trade into there, and I would say that's because of the heavy news environment, because of all the news coming in. Liquidity is probably super high, so bullish. If we're bullish and this is happening, I would say that's pretty good. So here's 10 a.m. Now we're gonna see 10:20 to 10:25 make a range in particular, right? So from this low, right? Because if we're looking at this imbalance and we're saying, okay, hey, what are we going to be doing here? We're going to be looking at, this range. If this is the first range that we're looking at, and this is price coming out of that imbalance, then this is going to be the range that I'm using to confirm my price moving higher, right? So here I would just put a trading range, and here we have OTE, right? This 1020 candle sweeps the 1005 candle and plugs right into that range, OTE. Once price moves away and takes out the high of the range, we then pull back. Now what I'm going to be looking for next when it comes to this model is the low not being violated, right? So then we'd essentially be doing the same thing. Sell side is down here at the bottom, and then we get buy side up here at the top. Now that we have buy side up at the top and we have sell side resting at the bottom, a model we could have used in this particular moment could have been, you know, the OTE entry that ICT explains on his channel. So 10 to 1025, 1050, we start to move higher. And at that 1045 mark that I always talk about on my Twitter, the 45-minute mark, super good, you know, good time to look for entries when it permits. And in this particular instance, it permitted. And you know, if you were looking for, you know, a trade during this time, you could take partials down here, or sorry, you could take partials up here at the first buy side, and then take off your last partials at the first standard deviation above that range. And then, you know, that right there, if you did get it, that's 35, 36 pips, you know, at that first standard deviation. And it looks like Euro USD, you know, went out and took the second one. So if you did get an entry here, I would say, you know, that's a pretty it's a pretty hefty trade. That's about 55 pips on a Tuesday after CPI. So, you know, if you were lucky enough to grab CPI, then, you know, you got an extra 55 pips going at it. So hopefully you guys found this video insightful, and until next time, good luck and good trading.